Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Stacy Gilpin, and I'm excited to welcome you to class. Um, this class is IEP development and implementation. Now, it's a little bit unique as far as the special education programs go at Normandale because it's a 2-credit course. And it covers, we only have 8 weeks together. So this is a course that's going to move really fast and it's jam-packed with content. So it might feel like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. Remember though, it's condensed into 8 weeks. So it is a lot in a short time. I think I've set it up so that, as long as you stay on top of things, you should be fine. But this is not the sort of class that you can wait. The modules open on, Monday, basically Sunday evening at midnight. And if you wait until the next weekend to work on them, you will not be successful. So if you don't have the time to dedicate throughout the week and doing a little bit more cleanup on the weekend, or even getting a head start a little bit on the weekend, it's going to be a really hard go. But if you know ahead and you plan, I'll be giving you lots of tools to help yourself organize. I think you'll be fine. Just keep that in mind, okay? So let's go ahead and we're in our course shell now. I'm going to move to the FAQ. I don't want you to look at this first, but I want you to know it's there. And then after you've gone over the welcome to class things, if you still have questions, or if you're just like, okay, now can I just have like a little bit of an overview? I think this will help just pull everything together. And I will continue to add to this throughout the course as other questions come up. Okay, so let's go to the welcome to the class module. Um, this just tells a little bit about what we're going to be doing in this class. We're going to be learning about the legal foundations of special education and learning how to write basically IEPs, individualized education programs. I've been doing this sort of work for over 20 some years. Originally I started out as a 3rd grade teacher, and then I became a special education teacher. I worked with students with emotional and behavior disabilities at the middle school in Superior, Wisconsin, and then I became the director of special education for the Tasca Area Schools Collaborative. So I oversaw about 1,000 students with IEPs and their families and supported their teachers and things like that. So this is right in my wheelhouse, and it's a complex field, and that's why there's special people that oversee those programs in schools called their special education directors. So I don't expect like you need to know everything, and you have lots of support when you're actually out doing this work. I just want to get you ready for this work, okay? And so it's going to be a learning curve, but we're going to just learn together throughout the course, and you'll continue learning after you leave this course, that's for sure. Okay, so you're going to find the materials you'll need for our course below. So the course schedule, case study collection, and the pre-course setup tips checklist, okay? I encourage you to download and save these documents in a dedicated folder on your computer so you have very easy access to them. And I also always recommend that for me, the syllabus and things, I do it because I have to do it. The materials that I think would be most helpful as a student would be the course overview and schedule. I would definitely download that one. I would download I would print off that one, and I would print off the pre-course setup tips checklist. The others, if you want to print them off, you can, but I think having them on your desktop so you can look at them and refer to them as needed probably would be sufficient. Okay, so I'm going to go back up here. That's interesting. So anyway, we have a getting to know you activity, and I'm just looking down below here, and I may not have put it in yet, so I will when I'm done with here. So there'll be a link for you to submit a getting to know you activity. And what that's about is just to help me to start to learn about who you all are and who we are together. And so it's just going to be 3 to 5 prompts, and I will put those into an assignment when I'm finished recording this video. And you just pick, it'll be more than 3 to 5. You just pick 3 to 5 of them and you answer them. You can type in a text box, you can, record it, you can do it in a Word doc and upload it. It's up to you. Just about yourself, your learning needs, and your goals for this course, okay? I won't be sharing this with anyone. Actually, you can even do it handwritten if you want to snap a photo too. Just going to help me learn how to best support your learning. Okay, case study selection. So if you're taking another course with me and we have a case study guide, it's the same one in this class. So if you're taking two classes with me and they both involve a case study, what I would do is I would pick the same case study student for each of the courses. So you're just working with one student and you really have an in-depth experience. If not, just ignore what I said. But if you are, that's perfectly fine. So you're going to select one case study student from the collection provided, and you'll develop your entire IEP portfolio around this student. So choose thoughtfully, consider which cases interest you most or aligns with your future teaching goals, okay? And this case study selection will serve as the foundation for all your portfolio components, okay? So the IEP portfolio, that's going to be the one big assignment. We're going to do little pieces of each of our 8 weeks together. Okay. And then at the end, you'll submit it to me. There's going to be no surprises. And we're going to do it step by step together. Here is the different sections that we'll be working on. You can see a little bit more detail here. Here's your digital portfolio format options. So, you know, as you're creating this, we'll be sharing drafts in our discussion boards. I'll talk about that each week. You can decide in the end, how you want to be organizing it or how you want to start organizing it, like on the front end, so that at the end it's just a matter of submitting. But it's up to you. It just does need to be digital. Weekly discussion and feedback cycle. So every week of our 8 weeks together will be the same. Monday, except for this week, sorry, because we won't have done anything. But typically on a Monday, you'll post a reflection from the previous week. And so we'll talk about more when we get to next Monday. Wednesday, you'll share a draft portfolio section for peer review. We're going to be doing a lot of different pieces of each section each week, so it doesn't have to be the entire thing, but the more the better. Then you get more feedback from your peers and from me. And then you're going to provide, by Friday, provide constructive feedback to 2 or more classmates. Then ideally what you would do the next Monday is I'll have the next discussion form up. Just post a reflection from the previous week and what you've learned from that and what it's going to mean to you now as you continue working, okay? Or it could be additional questions and things like that. I'll start to model things. I will provide examples and we'll get into a rhythm together. And why this is really cool, why we're doing it this way, is because I can't remember when I ever sat and wrote an IEP by myself. That's just not something that you do. Doing IEPs, it's a collaborative approach. And so, and it's a team, there's a team that you'll be creating an IEP together with for a student, and they will help you refine each component and things like that. And so by sharing on the discussion forum and getting feedback and giving feedback, you're going to get to learn what it's like to be part of a team like that. Your completed portfolio in whatever form you decide to submit it is due October 20th at noon. I can be flexible with that if need be, just let me know. Here's the different pieces I talked about. Start with the pre-course setup tips, checklist, go through and do it all. Download everything, like I said, print off the course overview and schedule, and I want to show you why. This really goes into more detail than the syllabus does, talks all about your portfolio, case studies, one section a week as we go, digital format options, discussion board structures. And then when we get to the course schedule each week, this is essentially what you'll see in D2L in that first for each module. It's right here too. So some of you I know are working. You might, over your lunch hour or whatever, say, oh gosh, I want to, you need to do some reading or whatever. And I want to take some notes as I'm working away. I'm on the project for my student. And so here's even some notes at the bottom. It's a note page. So this could be take this with you. Take your ebook, look at your ebook on your phone or a computer or whatever, and you're set to go, right? Let's jump back here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to welcome to class if there's anything else that we need to talk about here. At this point, I don't think so. I will put, like I said, a link so you can do the getting to know you activity along with the prompts, okay? So module 1, here we go. So the first week that we're together, I've opened it now. I'm recording this on Sunday the 24th, but it goes our modules will go from Monday, so basically Monday at 12:01 a.m. Until the 31st, which is Sunday at 11:59 p.m. But you'll notice that I will leave the course open and you can submit things until noon, always on the next Monday. You'll still be able to see it after that, but you just won't be able to submit things without getting without checking with me and getting me to open it. Reason I do that is because I know sometimes over the weekend things happen, or you might want to get back and do one more discussion board post or something. And so I won't be doing any grading or looking at things for feedback until Mondays at noon anyway. Okay, you might be wondering, how do I get to the text? Remember, it's a free OER text. Why would that not be there? Well, we'll figure that out. I'll make the link work. Very interesting. Well, we'll make sure that we can get there. I'll make it work. I was going to say I have another way I think I can get to it. I have it saved here. Let's see. Yep, here we go. So I'll make sure that that link works. But design of individualized programs for IEPs. I actually copy edited this book. And so I'm pretty familiar with it. To read the book, you just click right here. And we'll go into it, and you have your contents on the side. You can expand, things like that. You can also download the book if you want to have, a paper copy. There's different options here. If you want to use a screen reader or something, and you need that. The one thing that I would say is, even if you're going to print things off and read it that way, because that's how you take notes and things, that's great. But I would also have the e-version open, because there'll be hyperlinks, lots of links, and also to additional resources and articles, and also videos and other things like that. And that's why you don't see a lot of articles and videos and kind of ancillary things embedded in our course, because that's why these textbooks were created was to streamline things for you all, and so you didn't have to purchase a book on your own. So that's a cool part. And see, there's my name on that as an editor. Okay. Let me get back here. One, where am I at? Here we go. Maybe. Where did I lose my sale? Well, may or may not be. Here we go. Okay. So I believe, yep, I'm back in our course. I just wanted to pop over here one more time. The readings, I showed you how to get to the ebook. I'll double check that that link works. Okay, and then your portfolio component for week 1, section 1. It talks about, here it is. So review the case study collection provided by the instructor. It was available in the welcome to the class section. You can go ahead and pick any student that you would like from this selection. There's about 30 of them in there. Every student in the class needs to have a different one, because it'll make it more interesting if we're talking about different students instead of the same one. So that's what I'm getting at for part 1 is choosing your case study student is first come, first served. Each student must be unique, so claim yours early. So what I suggest doing is, if you look through and you picked your case study student, whenever that is, and you're not ready to do anything else, introduce yourself or things you maybe don't have time yet, I would go down to the discussion board. I would click on it, and I would just start a new thread and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, and I'm going to be using this case study, the number and the name, just to grab it so no one else does. And then you can come back later and finish up your discussion board post by adding in, introducing yourself. And then when you're ready, you can do part 2, where you're going to be doing these different sections. So it's going to be a work in progress, and there's really no right or wrong way to do this as far as formatting goes, so I don't want you to get caught up in things. But for this week, you're going to be developing your legal and ethical foundation analysis for your student. So you can either do, whatever you do, you know, you can share it and get feedback on it. Is it a short essay? Is it a video presentation, you know, or video presentation? And you're really going to be focusing on the legal foundations protecting your students' rights that you chose, and that information will come from the readings. And you're going to also create an IDA versus Section 504 comparison chart as applied to your chosen student. I'm going to develop the top 5 legal and ethical considerations list for your student's IEP team, and you're going to connect explicitly to federal laws and regulations with concrete examples as you do all of this. As far as timelines for the discussion board, by Wednesday, claim your student at the latest and do your introduction. By Friday, post part 2 up here that I just went over with you. So draft a legal and ethical analysis and provide feedback to at least 2 classmates. Then by August 31st, Sunday, respond to feedback you received on your own post and provide feedback to at least 2 additional classmates. And then the discussion closes on Monday, September 1st at noon, but try to get your posts up earlier in the week for maximum peer interaction. I also want you to know that I'm not going to get caught up in taking points off and things like that for discussion posts that are late, or I just ask that you try to follow these guidelines because it's going to make our discussions more interesting. It really does impact your peers if we have people that are not engaging in the discussions. And I have found as an online learner, I've done all my graduate work pretty much online, that there were some days where I literally couldn't meet deadlines, and it stressed, and it caused, you know, those deadlines and losing points caused more stress to me than I felt like it was worse. So I don't want to do that to you, but at the same time, I need you to work with me on doing the best you can with your busy lives to stay as much as you can on this schedule. So basically, if you do your discussion board posts, you do your best to stay on the timelines, you're going to get full credit each week. So it's, you know, it's learning and growing together, and it's trying out your ideas. So general timelines and requirements. I do want to go into a little bit more detail. So when you're thinking about part 1, here's more information. So part 2, here's the things that you're going to be posting. Now, you're going to do a little essay or video, and then you're going to post the IDEA 504 section comparison chart and the legal and ethical considerations for your student. Now, if you don't have time to get all those up by, you know, by Friday, get as much up as you can. And then perhaps, you know, even going into the next week, you might share some more in another discussion, or, you know, you can share something on Saturday or Sunday, and your peers may not have a chance to give you feedback, but I always will. Okay. So I know it could be asking a lot, especially in the first week, to do all of this. But, you know, I want you to also know at the same time that this legal and ethical analysis that you're going to be doing, that we talk about up here, I mean, really, you know, this is a really short amount for this part. And then these are, you know, just a chart and a list. I mean, so we're not talking, this isn't like it has to be pages and pages of content. I mean, really, it's probably a couple pages at most if you do it all in writing, okay? Okay, I shared a lot there. We'll continue to get into this as we move forward together about what to share in your posts as far as, you know, what, as far as the different drafts and things you're working on. And then as far as feedback goes, I think this is important that we're working together on this. You know, you know, offer your suggestions with kindness and respect. I'll model that for you. This is complex, and we're all learning this together. Always highlight strengths in what someone is doing, and then ask, you know, and then also ask for clarification. Ask thoughtful questions that will help us all think more critically about some of these legal applications. Share resources, case examples, things that you've experienced yourself as a caregiver, as a, you know, as a parent, as someone working with people with disabilities. At the same time, you know, you want to focus on accuracy of legal concepts, but you also we don't want to, you know, dispel any creativity either. So it's going to be a dance, but I'm used to doing that dance, so we're going to do it. I think that's all for now. Typically, what I will do is I like to open courses and this modules and make them available to you on the weekend before the next module starts. So I talked about we go from Monday, to Sunday, to essentially Monday, Sunday, I'd like you to be done by 11:59 p.m., but it'll be open until noon the next Monday. But I like if you can do your best to stick to it opens on Monday. Let's be done at the end of the day on Sunday. Then I will get the next module open for you on Saturday or Sunday. So if you're able to get ahead or even look at it, then you can be planning as you go into your week, since we are jam-packed here, 8 weeks. Okay, I think that does it. I'll be in touch, and I'll see you on the discussion board. Thanks.